Hi, everyone. Welcome to tonight's YOLO International event. And thank you for joining us wherever you are in the world. We are grateful that you're here. My name is Lauren Lahav, and I have the honor and privilege. It's my 13th, oops, I got some background noise. This is my 13th year working with the Juice Plus family. Those of you that don't know my story, I said no for 17 years. I had the I'm too cool, I know everything about nutrition, um, attitude, if you would. And thank goodness my friend Jeff Roberti was persistent with me. And he knew I was looking for something for my kids. He was also, he knew that life was good, but I was still trading my time for dollars. So I'm very grateful to Jeff Roberti for introducing me to the Juice Plus business. Many people had introduced the business to me, but they didn't, they weren't really asking the right questions or answering my questions the way that Jeff did. And more than anything, what Jeff did for me is I knew he'd been with the company for a long time, and I loved he was still very active. His mission was all about helping people, and that's really why I said yes. And I love that Juice Plus didn't have any contraindications. And if you were just listening to the Cortese call, Cheryl shared that my daughter has my daughter's been on Juice Plus since she was 5 months old. So she's never been on antibiotics. My other boys that they've taken Juice Plus for 13 years as well. We only have wellness days. We didn't really have any sick days around here. So that's a little bit. I'm a PMD plus with Juice Plus. If you're wondering what that means, all it means is we have a big, beautiful worldwide community. It was pretty powerful this past month just to see how much this team, around the world does in business every month. And we're about 5 million. We do about 5 million in business just with this team right here. So, which means we're just helping a lot of people build a strong foundation for their health. And very proud of that. I also want to congratulate Carolina over in Poland. She just became a QNMD and received a €5,000 bonus. We also had a couple QSSCs, which one was Christy Cole. Christy Cole just got a $1,000 bonus, I think. And then also Marcian, he became a QSSC as well. We have many, many other promotions that you'll be seeing in our newsletter that we are getting ready to launch tomorrow, and it'll have all those promotions that you guys submitted to us. But tonight, I think it's a really important event for us to talk about. Oh, we have another Tammy Ricker went QSSC. Is that what I'm hearing here? I don't know. I just see something that says Tammy, but it doesn't say two. It just says what? Okay, maybe you can let us know.
QSSC.
QSSC, awesome. So another QSSC, which is just that they were reaching out, reaching more people and helping more people to say yes to their health. And tonight I'm super excited that we have a lot of wonderful women that have been in the medical world and are going to be sharing their stories tonight. I'm going to start with one of the sweetest people I've ever met in my life. I just remember that we were at the Canadian reception, and I was with Carrie Ann, and she goes, "You got to meet Rita. Rita just went SSC." And it's true. She's got a huge heart. She lives in Ontario, Canada. And a little bit about Rita is that she is a nurse practitioner. She's been married for almost 30 years, and they have 2 children. So Rita, I'm just going to pass it on over to you, and then we'll get going. Tell us a little bit about your story, how you heard about Juice Plus, why it just makes sense to you. And, I think a lot of people out there, they might be wondering, like, why nurses are recommending Juice Plus. So I'm going to pass it on over to you.
Thanks, Lauren. Absolutely, I'm really excited to be here and share a little bit about my story. I was introduced to Juice Plus. Well, it kind of fell into my lap, I like to say, or I think truly it was an answer to a lot of prayers 2 years ago, last January. And I found a post that Carrie Ann was tagged in, and it literally had changed my life. As a nurse practitioner, I spend my professional day helping people to focus on health prevention. And so for me, really, this just made sense. When I took a look at it, I thought, you know, fruits, vegetables, and berries in a capsule, bridging the gap. It absolutely makes sense. I was really excited to be able to try it for myself, and see what it could do for me and a few issues that I was dealing with, and how it could help my family as well. And very quickly I fell in love with the product. And you know, honestly, I honestly did not realize the depth of what I was getting into when I, you know, when I said yes, or when I chased this, really, I think, because you know, I think you don't know what you don't know, and it has just gotten better and better every single day. It is the, you know, hands down the best decision that I have made, from a professional and personal perspective. I feel like I have grown leaps and bounds. I often will say that this company, this business, this team, this leadership has poured more into me as a person than any other position that I've held. And I've worked in healthcare, excuse me, for over 25 years now. I feel very blessed to be a part of it. Not only has it helped me to feel better, it's helped my children and my husband. And truthfully, you know, I've already been able to decrease. When I came into this business, I was working 60 hours a week. I was had a full-time practice, a contract practice. I was exhausted. I was burning the candle on both ends. I was sick and tired of being sick and tired, truthfully, and tired of missing out, feeling like I was missing out on my family and my kids, who are now 25 and almost 17. So, you know, for me, it's a blessing to be able to share this with other moms, especially young moms, because I feel like, you know, my kids would say I was there and I was present and I didn't miss things, but I feel like I missed things because I had to work. So for me, I really want to be able to help empower women to be able to have it all, be a great present mom, to be able to make a great income, be able to feel great, have the energy to participate in their family, and to be able to help other women. So for me, this is, you know, this ticks off all the boxes. Passive income, you know, bonuses are great. The community is amazing. The professional development, absolutely phenomenal. I mean, this company paid for me to take a year-long Brene Brown workshop, and I always share that because that's phenomenal. Like, that's the quality of company that we are, you know, involved with. And we have leaders like Lauren who genuinely take an interest in who we are as people, and in our business. And so I'm very honored and pleased to be here, and happy to share that. Thank you.
Well, welcome, Rita. I mean, what I love, and I think what I heard really was that, one, you took the product for yourself, right? You took it for you, so we're a raving fan customer. And then once you had those great results for yourself, you couldn't wait to share with everybody else, right? It's kind of like we always say, if you found a great restaurant or a great place to shop, you'd want to share with everybody. So for those people that are a little bit resistant, or might be running up against, you know, maybe some situations where people might be, I don't know, poo-pooing the product or poo-pooing the industry, and, you know, or as a nurse, you know, what would you say? What would you say to them? What would you share with them, or how to reach out to nurses, or how to reach out? What would you say?
Well, you know, what I would say is that there is no secret to good health. Like, it is literally move your body, be active, and eat well. And this bridges the gap. The World Health Organization tells us 1 in 10 adults eats the proper amount of fruits and vegetables. And so, yeah, it's easy for us to say, well, I'll just eat it. But most of us don't. We live busy health lifestyles. You know, our grandparents and maybe even our parents, you know, ate what they grew. And they moved their bodies a lot because they were more physically active than we are. We have more sedentary jobs. Our kids are involved in sports, and so we're, you know, activity. So we're running from place to place, eating on the go, picking up processed, you know, fast food. We're not eating the same quality of food that our ancestors did. And so it's even more important for us to start paying attention. I don't think that it's a coincidence that we're seeing more chronic illness in younger people. I really don't. And I think it all boils down to what we're putting into our bodies and how we're moving our bodies. And so, you know, to me, it's a no-brainer. Like, it just makes sense. It's natural. It's
And the business
plant-based.
part of you really made sense a lot to you too. I mean, because you grew very quickly to SSC within our company, and that's usually, you know, SSC is not an easy place for people to get to. Just those of you that might be new to the call, it's really all about building team. SC is usually when you have a couple people that are, you know, you're usually in what we call the comma club, making, you know, $1,000 a month, usually that SC position. But moving from SC to SSC is usually the big jump for people. So did you contact other people that you knew that were burnout? What was happening for you? Because I mean, you're pretty much one of the fastest people to get to that SSC position that I've seen. So tell us a little bit about that and understanding about growing your business.
I think, you know, again, it's really simple. Like you said, it's like sharing, you know, if you go to a good restaurant, I've always been somebody who, if I found something that I liked, I shared it with people. And so I literally spoke to as many people as I could. And, you know, I am a pretty introverted, shy person. I know you don't have to be shy to be introverted, but I'm introverted and I'm shy and I'm quiet and I tend to avoid social situations. And this business has helped me to kind of break out of that a little bit. And so I found I was suddenly reaching out with people with intention, genuinely caring about people. And so it wasn't about calling them and saying, sometimes it was like, oh my goodness, I'm so excited. I got to tell you about this new business or this new product that I've, you know, come across. But most often it was just genuinely being interested in people and finding out what they were looking for. Were they tired of not having enough money at the end of the month? Were they wanting to retire? I've talked to nurses specifically who are in their 60s, one that was 70 years old and still working because she couldn't retire, couldn't afford to retire. You know, so I think we put so much into our profession. It's a shame to be at that position where you can't financially afford to retire and slow down. So this just makes sense. And so it was really just sharing it with people and talking to people. And I think honestly, I had leaders that believed in me even when I didn't believe in myself. I poured myself into the personal development, and I believed that I could. I think mindset is 90% of it. And I think the other part of it is I was just genuine and really passionate about it because I really do believe in this profession. I believe in this product and this company and this team. Like wholeheartedly, I don't have a doubt in my mind. So yeah, I think that plays a big part.
Huge part. Awesome. Thank you so much. Did you want to introduce Patty?
Yes, I'd love to. Patty and I go way back, and you know, we're both in the healthcare profession, and we have kind of crossed paths many times over the last 20 some years. And about 2 years ago, I reached out to Patty. Our crowds had passed again in professionally, and I reached out to Patty and just started chatting with her and sharing what I found with this product and with this business. I knew that she was in a place that she may be looking for something new, and I knew that it would make sense to her as a healthcare provider. And so I am so honored to be on this journey with her, and pleased that she saw it as well, and really excited to be introducing her tonight to share her story.
Hi, Patty.
Hello, hello, hello. I have butterflies. I haven't had butterflies for a while. Thank you very much for that beautiful introduction. And thank you very much for the invitation here. It's an honor and a pleasure to come out and speak. And I've been involved in healthcare for over 20 years. It's hard to believe when you sit back and think about that. And I worked in many sectors in healthcare, in hospital, in nursing homes, in community. I even jumped into management. And, so when I was introduced to Juice Plus by Rita, which was 2 years ago, I was at a point in my life where my kids were raised, and, they were in university. And you do all the things that you do as a mom. You have all these hats that you wear all the time. And I worked many hours. At a couple of times I had 2 part-time jobs in healthcare. And so I worked hard, and then I worked in a nursing home and worked as a manager, which even meant more hours involved, not only hours there, but hours after work. So I was looking to, you know, in between jobs, when Rita introduced and we chatted, I had just lost my job in healthcare, and being in management, sometimes that happens in healthcare. So what happened was I was at a point where I was looking to get healthy. You always put yourself last as a mom, and that's okay when your kids are growing up. And I know we shouldn't, but we do. So I was at a point in my life where I thought, you know what, I'm going to get back into exercise. I'm going to get back into consistency. And when Rita introduced the products, I just thought this makes total sense. It's, you know, I want to get healthy. It's backed by research. It's an incredible product from what I can see. And I trusted Rita. And like she said, we've crossed paths many times. And I thought, if she's doing it and she loves it, why can't I? So that's how I got involved initially. And the reason why I'm inspired is because I do love healthcare. Healthcare is wonderful. But unfortunately, we have sick care. And that really bothers me. And it's always bothered me the 20 years that I've been involved. I deal with a lot of chronic disease, diabetes, heart disease. And it's just so frustrating that, you know, we don't talk about the things that we talk about here. We don't talk about the food all the time. We don't talk about the activity. It's like, you know, pharmaceutical companies, and we're always pushing drugs. And that gets really frustrating. And it's hard to fight against a system. That is the most difficult thing to do. So the Juice Plus made sense. The business made sense. I just jumped in and said, you know what, I'm doing this and I want to help people. And even if I can help one person, then I've done my job. And it just, you know, health is holistically, and, you know, you have to do all the things, not just eating properly, but like Rita said, it's your, you know, your mind, your body, mentally, and spiritually, and also socially. So this community has provided me with all those things. And I didn't expect that. That was not one thing that I expected, because in healthcare, sometimes I say this, we kind of eat our own people, kind of push each other off to, you know, if somebody's getting ahead of you, why are they getting ahead? So, and here that doesn't happen. And that was the beautiful, that's what inspires me and drives me, is being with such wonderful people and just positivity. I love it. And the only thing I regret, and I've said this many times, is that it didn't come into my life sooner. Because when my kids were little, gosh, I just think, wow. But you know what? It happened when it needed to. And I'm just thrilled to be here.
So I love this. And what are you most excited about? I mean, I know you guys can hear the passion in both of their voices. But what are you most excited? What do you see for yourself of what this can do for you and those that you love? What do you see for you?
Well, it's funny that you say that, because I was on a call, I had a little coaching call with a lady today. And as soon as I started talking about that, she goes, you just lit up. Okay. What inspires me and is helping people. To help one person, to hear people that are in pain. I've always been observant, but now I'm even more. It's like that sixth sense. What? Chronic pain? What's going on? I need to find out more. How can we help this person? And, you know, not everybody's ready, but it's important asking those questions. And I think healthcare is about connections. And I've always loved connections. I've worked with seniors quite a bit in my career, and hearing their stories and where they came from and what they did and how they got to where they're going. And that to me is what life's all about, is making those connections. So that inspires me.
That's awesome. I love it. So we say the questions are the answers, right? It's interesting, through this whole past couple months, a big thing that I've done is just taken the time to talk to my mom. You know, normally it was 5 minutes on, 5 minutes off. Now she's telling me, she's like, don't you want to hear about the complete pudding I made? You know, or hear about the shake that I made today? And just like you said, just getting to know, and knowing that she's well and that she's healthy is a big thing. But just, like I think most of us don't take that time, like you said, to really connect with people. And when you do, when I always thought, and my question's always been, who can I help? Who can I serve? And I think that the business is different when you start at that becomes your question, not what am I going to get out of it, right? So
That's right.
I'm very excited to see you grow and all the wonderful people that you introduce to our amazing mission. So thank you so much, very, very much. We're going to move on to Chelsea, Chelsea Irvine, I think I got it right. And she's a QSE and a mama to a toddler. She has a wonderful partner. She's a registered nurse and soon to be birth worker. So I'm going to go ahead and Chelsea, I think, there you are. All right. Are you unmuted? There you go. Welcome. Hi.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you. Great.
Okay. Hi. Thanks for having me on. So I'm Chelsea. I'm a registered nurse. I'm a wife and I'm a mom of a super cute toddler. I've been with Juice Plus for about a year. I think a year next month. I'm just going to plug my computer back in here. So I started with Juice Plus about a year ago because as a registered nurse, it can be hard. It can be a stressful job and I love to help people, but working in long-term care, for those of you in Canada, you've probably seen the news. It can be very stressful and has time constraints and it's hard to help people the way that you want to help people. So I love being a nurse, but I just wanted to help people in a different way. I wanted to focus more on primary prevention, so preventing illness rather than just treating it. And I think in healthcare, especially with elderly who I work with, a lot of the time we're just treating diseases after they've already happened. So I'm more interested in the primary prevention, which was why Juice Plus was perfect for me, because the products just, they make sense. Like it's eating healthy, it's primary prevention, it's preventing illnesses. So that's kind of what I loved about Juice Plus. And then I saw also Juice Plus work in my own family's life and in my life. So it helps with my anxiety. It helps with acne. I haven't had eczema since I started taking the products. So it's just been, honestly, the products are amazing and the business just made sense to me. And I wanted to be able to help people in a way that I can't really do with being a nurse. Also, being a registered nurse, I was working shift work a lot, working nights all the time, crazy hours. Like I remember there were some days when I wouldn't even see my son for like 2 or 3 days in a row because I was doing 12s. And then by the time I got home, he was sleeping, which was awful, especially because I went back to work. I think he was 6 months old. So it's pretty young. I remember one time he was crying as I was leaving for work and I had to go to work and it's awful. So obviously I'd rather be home with Ezra, that's his name. And this business would give me the opportunity to do that. So it just made sense to me and I loved it right away. Loved the products. Also loved the Tower Garden and we just got ours. And I love that I can teach Ezra from a young age all about eating healthy to prevent illnesses now. The products are just amazing. The business made sense to me. And then also I want to do more things that I love, like traveling, camping, adventuring. And it just made sense to me. Like, this is the way I can do that. So it's been really fun. I'm also becoming a birth worker. So this business made sense in that way because fertility. I just thought it was amazing that Juice Plus has helped people with fertility issues. So it connected kind of that way for me as well. Just the community of Juice Plus and the Thrive Tribe and YOLO is just amazing. I just love the community. I love the people. They're so fun, so supportive, and it's just been really amazing, especially during what we're going through right now, to have the community and have friends. It's been awesome. So that's a little bit about me and why I love Juice Plus. And
I love it. And I think how many of you, while you're listening to her, are just thinking about people that you know that are in that situation, right? Like there's a lot of mamas out there that want to spend more time with their kids, that are working shift, whatever you would, all the different shifts, and they're not able to spend the moments that they want. There was a young girl over here yesterday with her husband, and she works in the convention services, and she's like, I don't get to see my kid ever, this time she's been able to spend time, and she's looking at other options now so that she can be a mama like you. And so tell me about what's a story or someone that you've met or introduced the product or the business to that's really made you smile and made you realize, oh my gosh, I'm on the right path and I'm sticking with this. Do you have a story like that?
I
Somebody?
kind of have a story. It's about the Tower Garden. So I didn't even think that this person would have wanted to buy a Tower Garden, but it was actually an elderly woman. She's actually my husband's grandma. She just saw the Tower Garden in my stories and she loved it, and she decided she wanted to buy one because it's a really cute story. After she bought it, she told me that it's because her and her husband, Kyle's my husband's grandfather, they have a hard time gardening anymore. They can't go out to their garden and dig in the dirt and get down on their knees. So that's why they bought it, so that they can be gardening again. And they just got their tower garden and set it up, and they're super excited to be able to do something they love again. So I think that was one of my most recent stories that I was really like, wow, I love this tower garden. I want to help more people be able to garden. I've talked to some of my friends who their grandparents also are in the same situation. So I think that's my most recent.
I love that. I love that. And we all know somebody who, especially now, people are looking for a passion. They're looking for something to do. And like you said, you know, how great is that? They can do it without having to hurt themselves with regards to it, right? And it's small enough that it doesn't take up a lot of space and easy to do. Thank you so much for sharing. I'm looking forward to spending more time with you too and meeting Ezra for sure. I want to see a picture.
Yeah, I'll send you a picture.
Okay. We're going to go on to, is it Moni Chapman? And Moni is a senior partner with Juice Plus. It's her and her son. She's a registered nurse with a special interest in mental wellness and child and adolescent mental health. Wow. You are busy these days, I am sure, with regards to that. I know that that is a big challenge, you know, that people are dealing with, especially with what's happening in the world. So love to hear a little bit about your story, how you found out about Juice Plus. Are you there? I'm going to get her and spotlight her. There you are. Awesome. Are you unmuting yourself? Can you unmute yourself? Ask to unmute. Okay. You got to unmute yourself, sweetie. You have to just, there you go. There you go. Perfect.
Hi, I have to firstly apologise for the screen saying my phone won't do the business, so I've had to pop onto my mother's computer, which is not very high quality. So my name's Moni. I've been a registered nurse for over 20 years, maybe 30. It's a bit disconcerting when you start counting it all up. My area of specialty was child and adolescent mental health, and I also worked with boat people, refugees from China who came into Australia and put in camps to monitor them. And 10 years ago, I had a diagnosis of Parkinson's. So I never thought that I'd be able to work again, sorry. And my friend Maxine introduced me, and it was so great because the product really, really helped. I had done everything I possibly could. I had taken homobotanics, I had taken homeopathics, I'd taken a lot of stuff, and I was still left with this residual body stuff going on. And my friend Maxine got me onto the products, and the transformation was astonishing. I didn't have to have nanonaps. I was eating really well. I was moving, and it was really good. And my tremor disappeared. When I'd been on the product for 4 months, Maxine convinced me to become, I'm not sure what word to use, ambassador. And
you've been sharing the product. No, you've been sharing the product. I know, right? You've been sharing the product because of what it's done for you and how you felt.
Yeah, and I never thought that I'd ever be able to work again. And so Juice Plus has given me that, which I'm very, very grateful for, and amazing community. And every day I find out something new, and that's really cool. And my business has kind of been so good because it's been so flexible. Like I have periods where I'm not able to work, and I can then go back at other stages and do work. And you're asking about the mental health stories. I'm beginning to focus on that market. I've been focusing on general health, but I'm setting up my own business page, and it's going to be very much catering mental health and ecology. Yeah, so that's my plans for the future. Thank you.
Moni, I so appreciate your story. I didn't know your story, and I'm trying not to cry because a couple people know this that are on the line, just a few people, and that was that I had, and you might know someone like me, everybody, like I said, that had the I'm too cool syndrome, and because I've been teaching a health program for so long, and my friend Jeff Roberti tried for years, 17 years, as you guys know, to get me to take Juice Plus and to share it. And my dad was diagnosed with Parkinson's. And when I heard Dr. Du Bois and my dad, unfortunately, he passed away because of something else. He had a septic. He had something that goes septic in his system. But when I heard Dr. Du Bois say that Juice Plus helped with Parkinson's and it helped the inflammation with Parkinson and autoimmune disorders and with Alzheimer's, for me, that's when I really decided to take Juice Plus seriously. That was 12 years ago when I heard him speak. And, I thought to myself, how could I have not even helped my own dad? Why did I, for 17 years, was I so, arrogant that I couldn't have just at least put my dad on Juice Plus. So I appreciate your story so very much, because you were just such an inspiration for all of us. And I love that you've got such a great friend. I mean, that's really what this is about too, is that just sharing with the people that we know, love, and care about. And so it sounds like you have a very special friendship with Maxine, and who is I'm just wish I could give you a hug through the phone, Maxine and Moni. So Maxine is a sales coordinator in New Zealand, and she's been a registered nurse for 35 years. Bowen therapy, and I have no idea what that other word is. You'll have to share with us, Maxine. And she's married with 2 young adult daughters. So first of all, I want to thank you, Maxine, for introducing Moni to Juice Plus. And Moni, are you in Australia or New Zealand?
Aotearoa, New Zealand.
You're in New Zealand as well? Awesome. So they are both in New Zealand and very excited. I'm trying to find Maxine. So I want you, first of all, while we're on this event, I want you to think about who is someone that you know, love, and care about that you haven't reached out to, that you could reach out to. So Maxine, over to you.
Thank you so much. I am really privileged and proud also to share on this event. Yeah, I must say I get quite choked up every time I hear Moni's story, even though it's really close to me and I have heard it, and I know the story well. It still really moves me. And to be honest, it's one of the reasons when I've had my face down days that I actually get over myself and carry on, because why wouldn't I, when these kinds of things are happening, when we're having this kind of impact on people. So, for me, that's what I keep coming back to, on the difficult days, which we all know there are. And my own story is I started on the product at a time when my own daughter had been very ill for many years. She had had an eating disorder, lots of mental health issues, including, suicidal feelings for a long time. And so I got myself on the product, and her also. And I had a marvelous result. I had been an asthmatic for many, many years. I had chest infections all winter, every winter. New Zealand winters are pretty cruel. And, I immediately started to heal my lungs. I never thought that would happen, right? Asthma is one of those things you think just isn't going to heal, and it has. and I don't have chest infections anymore. We're in winter now. This is my 3rd winter with no chest infections, no sickness at all. It's just incredible to me. It's really revealed to me the huge power of supporting the immune system. And never in my life have I ever come across anything that supports the immune system the way that this does. And, you know, as a nurse, I understand that the immune system is the foundation for everything in the body. You know, it's where all of our problems start. And if we haven't got that right, then we haven't got anything right. I also, like Chelsea, I don't have eczema anymore. That was my best friend for most of my life, and now I never ever have it. And also, I guess from the business point of view, when I was introduced to the business, I was basically coming to the empty nest phase of my life. I had, you know, my background is I'm a registered nurse. I went into natural therapies when I was having my children because I really didn't want to go back to traditional nursing roles. They'd been a very unsatisfying kind of job for me because I really wanted to work holistically with people, and that is not what you get in the medical profession at all, especially not the spiritual aspect, which was really important to me. And so I trained in a couple of natural therapies, Bowen therapy, which is a type of bodywork and anthroposophical nursing. There you go, that's how you say it. Anyone whose children have been to the Waldorf school or the Rudolf Steiner school, they will know what that's about. So that's a practice, a health practice based on the philosophy of Rudolf Steiner. So that was another thing that I got into. And so I went into a private practice as a Bowen practitioner and as an anthroposophical nurse. But the thing for me with Juice Plus was what I was seeing was people who were coming to me, they really had very fundamental issues of inflammation, immune problems, digestive problems, you know, all sorts of problems that were basically lifestyle related and diet related. And I started to see the real importance of nutrition and giving people that real foundation to heal from. I mean, everything else that I was doing kind of felt like a band-aid that wasn't ever really gonna actually, like it'll just fix it and then 2 weeks later they're back again, because they're not correcting their inflammation, they're not correcting all of those foundational things. So when this business was introduced to me, it was just so perfect because it was the foundation stone that I had been looking for in my practice. So I initially just started building it into my private practice, but as time has gone on, I have decided to make it my plan A and my full-time income. A lot of that was because, as I just mentioned, I'm an empty nester, and I honestly, like when you get to middle age, you're like every day counts, right? You don't feel like you're getting any younger. You're not getting any younger. And I didn't want to spend the rest of my life schlepping off to a job, into an office, into a clinic, and not being around for my kids and not being around for my grandkids. And, you know, just not having any time. You know, the worst poverty really is to have no time, actually, when you think about it. And that's what so many people suffer from. And so that's really, you know, this really business was so wonderful for me. It gave me my own life back. It gave me my daughter's life back. So, I mean, I didn't talk about that, but she actually went on to heal from her issues as well. She's now doing quite well. It gave me the foundation stone for my practice, and also is giving me my freedom in my life going forward. So, yeah.
I just love it. I love it because you shared, you know, it's those, when you have those face down moments and you get out of your own way, you think about someone else and about sharing. You know, we always say, you know, we're glad that someone didn't give up on a bad day, right? Like, I'm glad that Jeff didn't just not feel like talking to me, and to see what's happened. If you haven't had the opportunity to maybe go back and see the what if video that I created, you know, back then. I mean, what if I hadn't called Amanda, my friend? with lupus. What my friend whose daughter was spinal muscular atrophy. So really think about who you can help and serve. This was probably my favorite event I think that we've ever done. Honestly, I just love this because it's so from the heart, and here are people that every day are giving and taking care of so selflessly. I mean, I always think about the nurses are really the ones who do most of the work, you know. I remember when my dad, you know, just seeing these little nurses taking care of him when he was in a coma, and I don't think I ever saw the doctor. I think most of the time it was only just the nurses, and but just hearing their stories and what, you know, that they're huge hearts. So I want to thank you for your huge hearts. Real quick before we end, just one quick thing from each one of you, just 10 seconds. What's the one thing that you would say to everybody to just say, you know what, now's the time? What was one quick thing that you would say to each one of them, each person? How about you, Maxine? And then we'll go to Patty, and then we'll go to Moni, and then we'll go to Chelsea, and then we'll go to Rita.
Well, I mean, personally, I think this is how we're doing business in life anyway now. You know, this slots perfectly into how we're getting on a wave that's already happening. So why wouldn't you? And it's the ultimate pay it forward business. It serves yourself and it serves others. You know, what could be more perfect?
Awesome. Thank you so much. Patty, I'm going to go to you. What would you say to everybody?
I would say that, you know, timing is everything. And, you know, I don't know what it would do for you. However, being a nurse and knowing what it's done for myself, you know, just giving me the energy to, you know, get back onto healthy, but also, you know, seeing factual, like lab work that changes. I was anemic for many, many years. And for the first time ever, my blood work has improved. I mean, that and the research behind it, you can't deny research. So it's got everything. It ticks all the boxes, and it just makes sense. And you know, it's timing for everybody. So definitely just reach out to whoever sends you the video.
Awesome. Love it. How about you, Chelsea? You got to unmute you. You're going to unmute.
Okay, there. I think I'm unmuted. I would just tell anyone thinking about giving this a shot to just try it, because there's nothing to lose. It's a great opportunity, and it just makes sense. The research is just there, and from a health perspective, it just makes sense. And especially if you're in healthcare, it can be so stressful. It just makes sense. It's a great opportunity, and I would really encourage people to just try it.
Awesome. Moni, how about you? Oh, we got to unmute. Got to unmute you. Got to unmute, sweetie. Unmute. We got her. Are you unmuted?
I am now.
There you go.
So what I would just say is it's really amazing that you should jump on either the product or the business. It's just incredible how flexible the job is and how you get to design your life, and that's really important. And also you get to meet a lot of like-minded people, and compassion is a really important part of it. So yeah, that's all I have to say.
Awesome. Thank you. And you, Rita, to wrap it up, my love, what would you say to everybody?
Well, I think I would say that, you know, when we first start our lives, we tend to have all these plans for ourselves, and somewhere along the way we lose that. We start to settle for things. And, you know, I guess I would say, be honest with yourself. Are you where you want to be as far as your health and your wealth? You know, are you doing the things that you want to do? And is there more that you would want out of life? Because the truth is, you know, we don't know what's in store for any of us, and life sometimes can feel too short. And so, you know, there's no time like the present. Like, what are you waiting for? I honestly, truly believe that when people say no to this, they're saying no to themselves. They're saying yes and giving into their fear. Or they just don't know what they're saying no to. So, you know, I guess I would say, ask yourself, what if this is the thing that could change your health or change your life? like everyone said tonight, it really just is simple. It makes sense. For me, when I looked at this, I thought it's kind of a no-brainer. Like, why wouldn't I want to at least get my product for cheaper? And I think, I think when you just are wanting to help yourself and anyone that you care about, it just happens organically. So I think get rid of all the excuses, be real with yourself, and just jump in, really.
Thank you so much, ladies, and congratulations to all of you. And I look forward to celebrating with each one of you and seeing all the amazing transformations that are going to happen because you said yes. So thanks, everybody. Have a good night. Bye. Make sure you tune in to our Start Strong calls this week. We're every Tuesday at 10 Pacific Standard Time. And then we have to make sure you check the schedule, and then we're going to put it in the newsletter. Bye.